Welcome to Loose Mesh, the lacrosse podcast, the place where the tape's off, the gloves are off, and the stories come straight from the barn. From rookie bus rides to championship runs, we're breaking down the game with the players, the legends, and the voices that live it. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a pro chasing rings, grab a cold one, string up the stick, and let's get loose.
Welcome back to the Loose Mesh Podcast, Week 10 Recap, Episode 15, presented by Gat Wealth Management. This week, separated teams who held the line from teams who absolutely did not. When the pressure hit, some groups stayed disciplined and others got rewarded. Others panicked, forced, and paid the price. Gat Wealth Management is built for the long haul, not for emotional swings, not for impulsive decisions, and definitely not chasing something that isn't there. Gat Wealth Management, protecting what you built and planning for what's next. Frick, how was your week this week, man?
Man, you killed that ad read. You've been practicing. That's why you didn't go to work today. You've been practicing. You just sat at home and you just kept reading that over and over and over. You almost sound like Ryan Whitney doing those now. You're half decent. You're half decent.
Getting better.
My weekend started off absolutely awful by getting taken out on a date by referees, and they didn't even buy me dinner before they fucked me. Like it was absolutely outstanding. I got threatened to be thrown out of a game for arguing the right call, which is amazing because everybody and their sister and my ex-girlfriend Lindsay knows that if the ball gets trapped in between the turf and the boards in the corner. Well, here, let me ask you this, okay, Dawson? If you're watching an NLL game, and the ball gets trapped in between the boards and the corner, and let's say it's Toronto versus Ottawa, and it's in Ottawa's offensive end, where's the face-off supposed to be held?
Right there. And if it's in Toronto's end, you said?
Literally right there, right there. Right.
That's
hockey
where it
circles
goes.
We all know where the hockey circles are. That's where it goes. Well,
it's happened twice this year already. I was already in NL.
I was told that I was a complete and utter moron for yelling that the face-off shouldn't have been back at center because, like, how's that fair to anybody? And then the horseshit excuse I got was, oh, well, we didn't want somebody to get all messed up in the corner off the face-off, so we moved it to center. Well, just so you know, like, their draw guy is probably the best guy in the... Yeah, I was pissed. Their draw guy is probably the best guy in the league, and he basically just picked the ball up, and they went down on a fast break and scored in a game to which we lost 12-11 in overtime. That's number one. Number two, we score a designed quick stick backdoor goal, okay? Whoever the offensive coach is in Oshawa was on his game, and he drew up a couple nice 5-on-5 plays, and we had one naked backdoor tuck. We literally watched it go in from the bench. The timekeeper told us she watched the goalie pull the ball out of the net, and they didn't even stop it. Like, they didn't say no goal, he was in the crease, no goal, it didn't go in, didn't even stop it, just continued the play. They went down on that very next possession, went down and scored in a game to where we lost 11-10 in overtime. Number three, in overtime, another designed backdoor play, quick stick, hits the goalie, trickles across the line. We can see it from the bench. It's over the line. We can see it. Like it's clear as mud. Nah, we don't want to count that one either. And then that's where they actually went down and scored in overtime to finish the game. So that's three just straight, they wonder why I hate every single one of them. But after that, the weekend, it was nice and calm, nice and collected. Dog sitting my best friend Andy Glenn's dog. So I was up there for the majority of the day. Saturday, came home, did some adulting, went back up there, watched the game, spent the night. It's just a great weekend of lacrosse. Great weekend to just, finally getting to relax and have to run around town like a crazy maniac. Again, man, some of these referees, I think they listen. Like, I think they listen to the pod. They know that I hate them. So, whatever.
I was just about to say, man, there's a couple referees in Alberta. They said, like, when I'm coaching this year, they might just slide a couple calls my way, not slide a couple calls in favor of me, against me, just because of the podcast. And I said, man, if you're that sensitive,
you shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, you should. Well, like you shouldn't be doing it. Like I have an opinion, and this is my opinion, and I get it. Like in 90% of games, I'm a lot and I'm loud, but like I'm not yelling at you. Like and I try and tell them this before every single game. Like I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling to you. Okay, but
There's
unfortunately, like it's a big difference. Right, like and like the one referee, he goes to one of our assistant captains, like, if you don't tell Frick to calm down, like I'm gonna throw him out. My assistant captain looks at him and goes, like, he's not even yelling, like he's being loud, he's being McMichael, yeah, but like he's not motherfucking you, he's not swearing at you, he's not telling you how bad you suck right now. Like I'm yelling that you made the wrong call, and then for you to tell me that I'm wrong when I know I'm not. I don't yell about things. I don't argue about things that I'm sure that I know what I'm talking about when I'm ready to go out on a limb and yell at the top of my lungs in a very, very small, echoey arena to where everybody and their sister can hear me. Like Johnny selling popcorn up on the top left corner. He can hear the exact words that are coming out of my mouth. That's how small this arena is, right? So like I'm not going to do that when I'm questioning myself, because I'm not really in the business of making, like, I make myself look pretty dumb most of the time. I get it, but I'm not in the business of doing it on purpose and intentionally. Like that. Like sometimes I just think these guys need to use their heads and be like, well, like if he's yelling this passionately or he's arguing this much about it, like maybe I should give the guy who's been in the game for the last 35 plus years, maybe I should give him the benefit of the doubt, considering I'm a 23-year-old kid. Like just throwing that out there, like snowball. I don't know.
No, and I get your point on that, Frick. It's frustrating with referees. I feel like you and I are the same type of coaches. You know, I'm very loud and passionate to it, and I had to tell people too, man, I'm not yelling at you. I'm really just coaching from the bench most of the times towards the kids, because the kids benefit from it. I'm sure they tell you that they benefit from you coaching from the bench, saying, hey, back door, or hey, you know, you have time, or something along those lines.
And I walk guys right through offensive sets during the play. Like yeah. Honest to God, and like for instance, we have this young kid, and he's going to be a quality, like at bare minimum, senior lacrosse player, and his name's Reed Chamberlain. And we were in the like a 4v4, I think, and he's setting a pick, and he's just kind of going up and down, and like, Reed, get in the middle. And he looks at me, I go, get in the middle, start in the middle. And then he's like, I go, more. And then he looks at me, I go, okay, now come straight out on a dead line and just pick, like, and the play is literally going on at this point, and we're having I'm having a conversation with myself. He goes out and does as I'm asking him, boom, pick and roll, we get the ball, score, shoot, pass, and he just looks at me. But like I'm continually coaching throughout the whole game, and whether or not that's yelling at a referee over an absolutely terribly missed call that ended up costing my team a goal in what turned out to be a 1-goal game, it's infuriating. And the fact that, like, I'm going to go on a rant. We got to move on because I don't want to be on here for 4.5 hours tonight. But I, as a coach, I'm expected to give a referee instant respect due to the fact that he's the referee, right?
Yeah.
When does this start to come back around? Because I
want to know the same thing, man. I want to know the same thing.
I've been given penalties for saying sir and please within the last 12 months. Okay. Sir, can you please explain to me the difference between those two slashes? And I get a penalty. So at what point are we reffing the reputation or the name and not the game? Because it gets to be the point to where if you might not think that this is calm Ryan, but this is calm Ryan, right? Like I'm yelling, but I'm not swearing. Well, once I start swearing and I'm calmly motherfucking you, that's when we need to have a whole different conversation. When I'm yelling and screaming and up tempo, like that's good. It's a good thing, right? But like, they won't even have conversations with us anymore. But yeah, we have to have instant respect for them. I've done more in this game than 99% of these officials that are out there looking for an easy paycheck. And most of the time, it's blatantly obvious that this is what some of them are doing. I don't mean in the National League by any means here. I mean, specifically in my instance that I'm frustrated about right now, what I've seen throughout minor lacrosse, what I've seen throughout some junior B lacrosse, sometimes even junior A lacrosse, it's just like they're there for a paycheck, and a good referee should be able to impact the game in positive ways. And a coach shouldn't be going and fucking this guy, fucking that guy as a referee. Like, you shouldn't even, it's like a good D guy. You shouldn't even be noticed.
Yeah, 100%. Fricky, before we get going on and we're over, getting long in the tooth already, there's a lot of games and a lot of things to talk about. But let's start off. I was in Calgary, and in Calgary, massive news from an unknown source and unreliable source kinds of hit the internet and makes towards my cell phone device. And I just start asking around.
That's a lot of words for saying you got a text message from somebody that you don't trust.
Yeah, well,
it's a lot of words just to say I got a text from somebody that I don't trust.
And I didn't know who it was or whoever. Anyhow, someone trying to cover this league, trying to figure out the next big news story. I get hit with Philly to Trenton, New Jersey, starting next year. As a couple of the sources have put it towards you and I. In a couple of group chats. What's your take on Philly going to Trenton? I have a couple of my takes. One, I don't really like it. The history side of the Philly Wings, I think, needs to be there. The second part of it, Trenton's an hour away from Philadelphia. And so now you're back into that Albany thing where away teams who are coming in now have to bus an hour away from the airport.
Well, you're pretty positive there's an airport in Trenton as well. Like, it's not like a small town. It's a major city. It's a major city. It's a major city.
When I was searching it up from Edmonton to Philly to Trenton, I should say, I had to land in Philly and then drive 45 to an hour. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at one point they had an AHL hockey team. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they still do. So you got to think that a facility is adequate. I would hope that Trenton, New Jersey has changed, because I remember I went there a long, long time ago to watch the New York Saints play the Philadelphia Wings. I think it was the Philadelphia Wings and the New York Saints. And we stopped off at a convenience store to grab, some pregame essentials. And this, nice older looking white lady politely said to us, "What were we doing there?" Here to watch a lacrosse game. Yeah, sure. No, you nice boys don't want to be around here, right? It's like I don't think it was the nicest of areas. Is basically what I'm getting at, right? So hopefully it's changed, but I can't get a read on this. I've reached out to some people that I know very well higher up in the Philadelphia Wings organization on the lacrosse club side of it, not the business side, and they either they don't know or they're not telling me, and it very well it could be both most of the time. But when there's smoke, there's fire, right? And especially in the lacrosse world, with everybody being kind of such a tight knit group to where stuff like this doesn't get out, and when it does, it normally has legs, right? Like there's some things to where you can kind of read it and see it and you can predict what's going to happen, but this isn't one of those things that you can predict happening, especially not to where at the start of the season I was also hearing they were moving, but completely the other direction. Like it was south, baby, right? Like we were talking Carolina. We were talking Nashville. We were talking back to Texas. Like we weren't talking an hour up the turnpike here. Yeah, like a 45 minute L train up the turnpike, right? Like so.
I think it's good that we're still staying in the area just for those Philadelphia fans. I do like the kind of the building that they're going into as well. It's not as big as the Fargo Center. It's 8,700, 8,300, I think, at this Cure Insurance Center facility, which tends probably to be the place if they move there. I don't know, man. I wish that they would stay in Philly, but for Philly people's sake, this might be the last resort of you having a team. If you can't do well in Trenton, you're not going to do well there ever.
But there has to be a reason why they're thinking about moving. Like we're talking about, we're feeling bad for the Philly fans. The Philly fans aren't the Philly fans anymore, man. No, it's not that where they're selling out the Spectrum yelling, "You suck," after every single player's name from the visiting teams being announced, right? Like, what's the numbers like in Philly lately? It doesn't seem to be very good on TV. The product on the floor isn't very good. So if they showed up and supported a little bit more, are we having the same conversation basically is what I'm getting at here, right? Like, it sucks. It sucks to lose the team. Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Here we go.
Yeah. So this year they been right around that 6,000. They hit 6,000 twice, 5,000 twice, and then 4,000 three times.
And in an 18,000 seat barn, those numbers aren't acceptable. If you're talking 6,000 in a 6,000 seat barn like Oshawa, then yeah, you're happy days, right? But 6,000 in a rental that you're being charged like it's a 18,000 seat arena. It's being staffed like it's a 10,000 seat arena. The parking around there is being charged like it's a national basketball NBA game. Right? Like, that's what I mean. Like, if they had 10 consistent, I can see it and I'd feel bad for them. And if this was the first time that we weren't having the same conversation, I could see it. I would feel bad for them. But, I get it. Your team isn't very good. But if you want a team to be there in general, then you got to show up. What's next, Doss? Fire away.
The next one I want to talk about is the WLA draft that came by. What's your thoughts that transpired in the draft? And did you watch the draft?
I didn't, because like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Kudos to Nanaimo for accumulating all these picks. Like,
they don't matter.
They don't matter. They don't matter. And I get you have to grow your local teams by having your local players move up from the juniors to the seniors, and right? But like, the best players don't go in these drafts. Cody Malowski didn't go in this draft. Ty Banks didn't go in this draft. Jack Cass didn't go in this draft. Like, the best player and I got it in my screen here. Hold on a second. The best player in this draft,
Brian Cosley,
went in the second round.
Going to play. Yeah, he's never going to play.
The best player in this draft went in the second round. Excuse me. Mander, legit. Jackson Dillon, legit. Right? Like, Bosa, legit. I got it. The best player went in the second round. The real best players aren't in the draft, right? Like, it's few and far between of these players are going to make a difference on their WLA squad, right? Like, I don't, then there's no fix. I don't know what the fix is, because I was the first guy when BC didn't have protection picks. I was the first guy to say that they needed them. It's stupid that they don't have them. Now I'm saying that it's stupid that they do have them, because the best players aren't going in the draft.
Yeah, I don't know what the fix is over there, Frick. Like, because it's going to come down to the point where every good player is just going to go to one team eventually. And that's how it usually works in the WLA. Yep. So, like, you can draft whoever the heck you want.
It's not just the WLA. Like, that's senior lacrosse.
It's MSL now, right? Too. Yeah, it's senior. Yeah.
It's senior.
Whatever brown bag pays the most.
Right. Or you get like your random teams, like your Maple Ridges back in, I think it was like 16. That, like, they had a couple money bags, but everybody else was just grinders. Our Langley team in 2012, couple guys making, we had Nooch and Billings and the Rat, but other than that, we were just a bunch of grinders, right? Like, but those are going to be few and far between. Next,
let's jump over to college lacrosse. I believe there were 5 games that were canceled.
I'm surprised you threw. Oh, we're just going to talk about the canceled games. Like, I'm surprised you threw this in there. And the reason why I was surprised that you threw this in there is, if you want to talk about college lacrosse, that means you must have a way to watch college lacrosse. And if you have a way to watch college lacrosse, send it my way. Point number 2 other point that I have about college lacrosse is because I literally sat in front of my TV and computer for about an hour on Saturday morning at noon trying to find a college lacrosse game to watch, because I enjoy college lacrosse. Yeah. But if anybody out there in the podcast world has a way for old Fricky boy to watch some college lacrosse in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, please send it my way, because I would absolutely love. Like, there's some good Canadians in some big time schools right now, like Matt Collison at Hopkins, Quint Kesnich, I think that's how you say his name. The guy drives me nuts to listen to him talk, but he makes valid points. He's like, PLL teams are going to be drooling over this guy. Lucas Littlejohn, Finn Thompson. Like, there's some powerful Canadians in NCAA this year. I was literally just talking about him, and then I don't mention him either. Cody Malowski at Denver. Like, they just shit pumped somebody this weekend too.
Grayson Manning over in Denver.
Right? Look it up quickly. They shit pumped somebody, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, I have it right here. 20-1 against Cleveland State.
What a barn burner. 20-1. What Junior Mouse what was Junior Mouse's stat line? Great. It's great. Because I just rewatched the game from Friday night, and I just texted him when he ran through Frankie. Just a great text, man.
He had 3.
Cody had 3?
Cody had 3, yeah.
Probably played a quarter and a half.
Yeah. The problem is right now, it's against, like, other than the close games, there's maybe 3 on here, but everyone else, they're like Ohio State's playing Detroit Mercy. I'm sorry, but bet the house on next time that they're playing together that Ohio State's going to win.
That's how college sports is set up.
That's how it is
across
right now.
Across the week 0. Right? But again, let me reiterate, for weeks 1 through Memorial Day, if anybody has a password or any way they can walk me through watching some college lacrosse, I will gladly accept. And I'll give you a shout out on the pod too. Speaking of, I want to give shout outs on the pod too, so we don't move on very far. Did you see my boys from Team Michigan pulling out another double tournament win? Boy, the boy texted me, my boy Chris texted me there, couple back-to-back champ pitchers. Michigan lacrosse, man, look out. Like, they're grinding down there, that's for sure. Like, they are absolutely grinding. Last tournament of the year for their one travel team ended out with a double championship. Like, kudos to Team Michigan. What up?
And then they jumped in the comments after we posted the video. Those boys must be loving it.
Oh yeah, and then I was talking to Chris too, and I was like, man, that video is just going mental right now. Hey, he's just like, oh, yeah, not bad for a couple bums from Michigan. Good kids.
Fricky, there's one more shutout that we got that we have to get to. I'm just trying to find it. It was supposed to be last week, but
you're brutal.
Find it. I just thought of it now. We missed it last week.
You. Not we, you.
No, you did. They messaged
How
you.
did I miss it? Nobody messaged me.
Rick Mang. A shout out to you, brother.
Mango. Yeah,
yes.
I know.
Shout out to you, brother. I hope that you're doing well. Sorry that we missed you last week, but that's on me. Fault. I apologize.
Yeah. You said you were going to remind me to bring it up. So that's 100% your fault. Yeah, I know. Mango, man, get well soon, buddy. Best wishes to you. Anybody who knows Manger knows he's a different breed. He's a beauty, and he's one of the good guys in the game of lacrosse, and he was a great in the game of lacrosse, right? So Mango, be well, brother. Stay safe. Stay out of the shit.
Okay, Fricky, enough with the small talk around this, because something major happened in the NL this past weekend with Rylan Hartley hit on Steven Charbonneau. What's your thought process behind it? It's been going all over the internet. It's been everywhere you look, and probably in your cupboards at home. There's been a post about there too. What's your thought process of what occurred, and maybe give us a little bit of insight of what you think the league's going to do here?
By the letter of the law, it's a terrible hit, right? Like, I understand the Carson Leung factor of it. I understand the 2026 factor of it. I understand that we know a lot more about head trauma and the long-lasting effects, knowing firsthand. As we can tell, sometimes my eye twitches. I get it. I've been punched in the face a lot in my life. Like, I understand how hard it is to deal with head traumas. It's a penalty. I feel like the crew in Rochester did it to the best of their abilities. And I'm glad that he's okay. Now, the old school Frick in me, I guess I could say, is I loved it. Like, it's a physical game. By no means am I condoning it. Again, like, I agree with the call. He's probably going to get at minimum a 1-game suspension. But, like, I don't think it's overly dirty. He didn't take a headshot at him. Like, Rylan could have made that a lot worse, and, like, I love Alexis Bouquet, but, like, he kind of jumped at him, and he kind of made it like a big hit. Like Ryland kind of timed it right. The ball was there. Maybe at best a half-second reaction time. Arms down, shoulder to chest. Didn't take a shot at his head. Charging penalty, yes. I didn't know that rule, and I thank my goalie friend for sending me that rule before I really shot off like an idiot, because I was about to. I really my original thoughts on this, right? Yeah. I have it, I have it in a group chat. It wasn't the same, right? I thank you for sending me that before I shot off. So by the letter of the law, they nailed it. Right? Supplementary disciplines coming down Thursday, I'm hearing. You're hearing 3 games. I think that's egregious. I think I
was shocked. I was shocked when I was told that.
I think the 1 game is 100%, because then it cools temperatures, because again, I was in a chat last night, and I'm not going to say the player's name, but we all know exactly who I'm talking about. Over under 5 minutes of gameplay before he runs right through him. If he's in that net, I'm taking the under, because I know what I would do. Right? I know.
You have to send a message back, man.
I did it to my best friend. Right? I know what I would do. Right? So the league isn't dumb. Brian Lemon's not dumb. When Ryland Hartley goes to appeal it, Reed Reinhold's not dumb. Right? They all know what's going to happen if he plays in the game. So I think at bare minimum, it's a 1 game, right? Wrap this up really quickly. The competitor in me, I get it. But the letter of the law, 2026, head injuries, Carson Leung factor, you can't do it. And I understand why you can't do it. He could have been I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. I'm sorry. He could have been really, really hurt. That was
serious.
That was
hurt, man.
That was bad. Good, but bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you got? Shoot.
Man, I kind of said my piece on Twitter already. I've been defending, the referee standpoint for the first time in a long time. I think I've been defending Charbonneau and kind of going at Hartley. Listen, I get this is the thing that pisses me off, Frick, is everyone loves that. Oh, look at Hartley getting eyes on the league. I don't give a goddamn what if he's getting the eyes on the league. If this is what's going to bring people eyes on the league, I don't want anything to do with these fans. Nothing. Because it's not a circus clown to go out there in the National Lacrosse League or lacrosse in general, minor lacrosse, senior lacrosse, whatever, masters lacrosse. It's not a circus. And for those fans want to come in to hopefully see stuff like that every single day, well, guess what? You're not welcome. You're not welcome. I just think about, you and I are about to go and teach minor, and, training camp is starting to open up right around the entire country right now. And you're coaching U11. What happens when someone runs your goalie like that? And he's laying on the floor and he's 10 years old, 9 years old, and has a concussion. I want the league to snap down on it, and I want them to snap down hard. And that way it sends a message to everyone that, hey, this is not okay.
Yeah, I promise you, you're not running my U11.
You know what I mean? But that's where that's the inside of me that comes out and think of that. You know what I mean? Just with lacrosse that's coming around, you're going to get some stupid kid who's 15 years old or 16 years old or 17 years old and goes, I want to be on the internet. I want to make Lax Tilly internet, and then goes and runs a goalie and next day he's posted on there.
I can't believe you just sewered your boy like that.
Derek knows what I'm talking about. Him and I talked about this before, though.
I'm surprised.
But hey,
you didn't put it up. I was surprised. Good for you.
Let's go next one. Next topic we have early trade deadline is coming up on March the 9th. So we're 4 weeks out, Frick. What's your early trade deadline?
When? Okay. What are we doing here? Are we talking about what do I think is going to happen, or are we talking about how are we doing this? Because I got a couple. I definitely have a couple, and one's a big one.
One's a big one.
Yes.
Lay it out, buddy. What do you have?
Halifax has how many first-round picks next year?
3.
And Oshawa has
Lyle Thompson
and 0. So when do we start making the talk about the guy who signed our FA deal in Halifax a couple years ago? And that team needs a goalie. When do we start talking Dougie to Halifax?
Oh,
Told you there was a big one. Again, like I don't understand why you're surprised that you don't go half Frick, man. You go full Frick.
I'm not surprised, but I just it does make sense. But do Halifax
makes nothing but sense?
But they've
wanted him for 4 years now. He signed. Well, what are they? A qualifying. What was the thing that Jack Hanna signed? Dougie was the first one to do it, like the qualifying offer, or
yeah.
So Dougie, like I could be way off, but I don't think I am right now. Dougie signed one of those 3, 4, 5 years ago in Halifax, and Albany at the time had to match it.
Does Halifax need a goalie though?
You don't think they do? You don't think you go and get Doug Jamieson?
I'm not saying you don't go get Doug Jamieson, but like, it doesn't really help them. It doesn't really help them, in my opinion, if they want to make a run. Their problem is still getting off the fucking floor on the offensive side of the ball. Like, if you could just play all your D guys, you might be better off at this point.
But that's stop ranting. That's not what we're talking about. You wanted to talk about early trade deadline things, so that's the conversation. It's not about whether or not they can get her on off the floor. It's not it. Okay?
Yeah.
The other one. It's the same two teams. How much help do they need on the right side of the floor? A lot.
In Halifax?
You need somebody that has the longevity to play with Clark, right? How many first round picks do they have? How many does Oshawa have?
0.
When do we start having the conversation about Alex Simmons to Halifax?
If they do that, they're going full rebuild.
Oshawa, I think like Oshawa basically has to go 7-2 to make playoffs.
Yeah.
Their schedule is not easy. They got Buffalo, they got Calgary twice, they got St. Diego, they got the Rock, they have, I think, maybe Rochester one more time. Like it's not an easy road. So those are the two that I think will not happen, by the way. I think those are just me being an idiot. I like to have a little bit of fun every once in a while. Okay. This is the one that I wrote down when I saw you put this in the doc earlier today. And then I started to hear about it getting legs. Joey Rez to Buffalo. That, in my mind, it's 100%. I'm not breaking news here or nothing. It's 100% going to get done. It's going to get done. This is the trade that is going to happen either on March the 9th or before the March the 9th. This has to get done. Philly has to start to rebuild.
I think we talked about this trade for a long time, and it just makes sense. If you watch it against what Buffalo did with the Colorado, it's a team that, Matt, it's just right in its wheelhouse. Like you have no guys that are going to the inside right now for Buffalo, and that might just be, can Joey Rez be that guy? He is called what, Frick?
Buffalo Joe. Buffalo Joe.
So, the one that I was thinking about today, messaging you about two guys in Sask?
No, that would never. No, that's silly. That one's silly. That's almost as dumb as Dougie to Halifax. That's almost as dumb as Dougie to Halifax. Gauthier for Levi Anderson? No chance. Derek's not that dumb. No.
I'm saying there's more pieces. More pieces.
But there's no more pieces in Saskatchewan that Jammer wants. Why are you messing up? Why, if you're Derek, why are you messing up Saskatchewan? That is silly with a capital S, small I-L-L-Y with a period. It's crazy.
I like your...
That's like splitting kings.
You don't split your kings?
No, you don't split 20. It's crazy.
You make them go over? The dealer go over?
You're pretty good to win on 20 here. I like to gamble and make money. I'm not looking at it. All right, let's get going. What else we got?
From early trade deadlines, let's go to which teams are we most worried about through 10 weeks of play?
Buffalo. What? Man, Buffalo scares me right now. I told you, like it was only a matter of time before this amount of lacrosse caught up to this group, right? And like they struggled on the weekend. They are
Big
what?
Time.
Where are we right here? They had a 3-game losing streak. 3-game losing streak. They lost 2 at home. Like it's a bounce back week for Buffalo, but they did not look good. I don't know if it was the travel that caught up to legs. I don't know if it was altitude. I know Colorado is that good, but I think I'm worried about Buffalo right now. I think they need to inject some new blood into that lineup. I don't know why, again, like I've been saying this since I think we started this podcast. Like, I don't know why anybody's surprised about this. Like, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I'm definitely not surprised that they struggled out of the gate because, again, like, you still haven't done your homework from 3 weeks ago. Like, they played the most lacrosse in the last 3 years in the history of lacrosse. Like, that has to be a fact.
They played 100.
It has to
Dane
be.
Smith has played 196 games since 2022
In all three platforms.
in all three platforms.
And
PLL,
I don't care. I don't care.
Mann Cup, NL.
I don't care what anybody says. 10-game major series schedule is like playing 25 in the NLL. Like, that's crazy. Josh Byrne coming off of a severe enough leg injury to where he didn't play in the Mann Cup the last 3 or 4 games. Like, I'm hearing, I know I'm going to get texts about this, and I know what everybody's going to say, and I've heard the same thing. Okay, heard the same thing about the bubble wrap. I get it, but still, okay. Like, these guys have played so much lacrosse. I love Matt Vince to death, but he's 43 years old. You know, he's the most human, or the most in shape human being in the game of lacrosse, probably still at 43 years old. But you know what the kicker is? He's 43 years old. Like, you can only be so great.
Someone talking about that.
Yeah, you can only be so great for so long. Like,
there's 5 teams. There's 5 teams. Go ahead, Frick.
I get that I'm the one that has said that they're the Buffalo Bandits until they're not. Well, right now, sitting in 10th, they're not. I'm done. Go.
There's 5 teams. 5 teams I want to look at: Las Vegas, Toronto, Rochester, San Diego, Ottawa. Which of those 5 are not making it, and who's making it?
Well, like, Vegas in, Rochester in, Ottawa in, San Diego in.
I just gonna leave it there. I'm not even going to, because I know it's an inside joke.
No, for real though. Yeah, it's funny. Huh?
For real.
My license plates got stolen there. I got it. Yeah, no, for real. Vegas, offense wins games. Right? We're not asking who's going to win.
Jammer said if you're building a team right now, it's around. He would build around offense.
You're not.
Tell me what other offense you want.
You're not asking me who's going to win the championship. You're asking me who's going to make the playoffs. Offense wins games. Rochester, I think Rochester's top to bottom. They're still legit. I think they're real legit. San Diego, I think is playing better than most people are giving them credit for right now. I think Wesley Berg and Ben McIntosh are on fire. I think Trey Leclaire is having breakout player status of the season, or whatever you want to call him. Like, he's having a breakout year right now.
Him now.
Right? He's having a breakout. No, it's, as long as Wesley Berg's on that team, the offense runs through him. Don't give me that stupid head nod look thing, whatever. If it wasn't for Wes Berg, Trey Leclaire would be a bum. Wes Berg is the heartbeat of that offense. So, come on.
I'm not saying he is.
You literally just said that the offense ran through somebody else.
I'm just saying it's starting to look like Trey Leclaire's picking up more of a role. And
of course he's picking up more of a role. He's 6'3", 190-pound athlete who can run the 4-in transition, who's played out the back door for the last 3 years, and who can shoot the piss out of the ball. Of course he's going to step up in a bigger role. But until Wesley Berg is not the captain and wearing number 14 on that fucking team, it's his offense. That's just common sense. Come on. What are you trying to look up right now? You got that stupid look on your face, so I know you're trying to look something up.
I'm not looking up anything.
And then Ottawa having Jeff Teat. It's until he's got to break through somehow. It has to happen. The best player in the league always figures it out somehow, somewhere.
They got to make playoffs this year. It's just it. It's just it.
Yeah.
They have to make playoffs. Alrighty, Frick. There's a ton of games, so let's go through them. Let's start over in Friday night on the TSN Game of the Week. Saskatchewan Rush versus the Calgary Roughnecks. Calgary came out looking like the smartest team in the league for 15 minutes, smothering defense, dictating pace. Everything is calm. Everything is under control. Honestly, when Shooter looks back tape, it's a coach's tape first quarter. Unfortunately for Calgary, lacrosse games are 60 minutes. Saskatchewan hit 7 posts in the first quarter, which basically lacrosse versions were about to ruin your night. If posts counted as goals, Rush win by 10. Second quarter, script completely flipped. All Rush, no breaks, no mercy, no warning label. Saskatchewan goes on a 7-goal run, starting the scoring late in the dying seconds of the first quarter. That momentum swing violent, and it needs a seatbelt. Defensively, Saskatchewan was just rude. You want a shot? Earn it. You want a pick? Fight for it. You want a loose ball? Good luck, buddy. Everything contested. Everything was heavy. Everything hurt. Meanwhile, Calgary head coach Shooter postgame delivered the most honest quote of the season. Asked where his group needs to prove everything after this game. Calgary dressing rooms in shambles right now, Frick. The attitude coming out of the room is unexplainable. The leaders on this team, there's a couple of them that probably needs a conversation just from the attitude that I was down there for the post-game scrum.
Yeah, that was odd, right? Like that game was odd. It was way closer than it should have been. Number one. Right, like so midway through the third quarter, they're only up 3, but they're out shooting them by 25, controlling 90% of the play. Right, we knew we were gonna have Shooter on this week, and after the first 5 minutes, like I was like I'm nervous on which Shooter we're gonna get here in about a half an hour, right? Because like he can be funny, he can be articulate, or he can just be a grumpy, you know what? And after that 3/4 performance, I think we're going to look at the latter. I don't know what to say about this Calgary team. They have all of the pieces. It's just they're not. And I'm pumped to ask them this. Are they not executing the game plan? Are they kind of doing their own thing? Like, I don't know what to say about Calgary. But one thing I do know what to say about Saskatchewan is look the fuck out, everybody else. That team is buzzing. They're buzzing. It's ridiculous. Jimmy Q and Jammer have these guys floating on a different level right now. Everything they touch is fucking gold. Like you see that goal by Zach Mantz, the one to where he picked up the rebound off of Little Jammer's shot and just tucked her in short side, all in the same motion. Like I had to press pause, go and get some paper towel and clean up the puke that I had on my floor. Like that was nasty. Nothing this team does is wrong. I heard Jenner say at one point that they were 3 for 3 on the power play and they had 35 seconds of power play time.
Yeah, it was like power play. What? No more power play. Power play what? Goal.
Robert Shanksy.
Like 3.
The ball went from Robert to Shanksy, back to Robert, backhand to Shanksy in the net. The other one goes from Robert to Shanksy, over to Ryan, back to Shanksy, or back to Robert, Shanksy in the net. The other one is a little Shanksy, or Robert to Shanksy to Brock Haley, little slip pick in the middle, scores. Like, what? I didn't even get a chance to take a sip of my coffee yet, and you guys have already scored on the power play. What are we doing here? Slow down. Let me watch this for a second, please. Like, let me try and read what's going on before you guys go. Like that. Like that's nasty. That's not. What's that guy's name from the Family Guy? That Family Guy show, the Cleveland guy. That's nasty. That's gross. Like, come on. That's not fair.
It's not even fair.
That's not. Honest to God, it's not. It's
the other thing I want to bring up is Shooter when he was talking about in the post game scrum. You know, he said, you know, they get momentum from Goat having to fight with Boudreaux. They get momentum from Tanner Cook running Shilly, and they just can't build on it.
Stop. Tanner Cook didn't run Frankie Shiliano. Like, do we have to go back and look at it again? We talked about this 2 weeks ago on the pod. Bobby Kidd III, you're a great kid. I like you. I know him well. Coached against him. Coached him. The fuck are you doing hitting 6 foot, 210 pound Tanner Cook in the back running at your goalie? Like, of course he's going to take a little chunk out of him. Tanner Cook ran Frankie would be a whole different story, man. Like, these D guys got to stop pushing guys on the back. They're going to get their own goalie hurt. Look at Rosie right now. You're going to get your own goalie hurt. Get skinned. Give him a slash on the back. Slash him in the legs. Like you literally could have ended Frank's career. That's not a guy running him. How do you expect Tanner Cook to stop when he's going at that with that momentum? You can't.
I seen the push.
It's ridiculous. The fact that I'm happy that they gave him the 5 so that they could have went back to review it, because then you actually got to see the fact. The funniest part about that is Cookie was looking to go anybody after that, though. Not one person wanted to.
He was right up.
Bujo grabbed him first and then looked at how pissed off Cookie was and took a step back and then grabbed the other guy beside him. Like, that was hilarious. And then Bobby Kidd III was going to come in, try to be his little tough guy self, and Cookie treated him like he was his little cousin coming over for Thanksgiving dinner, but you're not getting any pumpkin pie. Like, that was awesome. That was awesome.
It was better than that Boudreaux and Goat fight, man. I'll tell you that.
No, that was terrible. Let's move on that note. We're already an hour deep. Let's move on. We got all the games to go. Already an hour deep and an interview with Shooter.
Pack up the parkas, head for the ocean. Touchdown in San Diego for the Didn't We Just Do This Week 9 rematch. San Diego Seals versus Philadelphia Wings. Philly did what Philly usually does, just enough early to make you think something's there, and then the game got heavy and disappeared. Strong first quarter, early belief, then full 2 periods of San Diego dictating the pace. One loose ball battles, never let Philly back in. Once the Seals are settled, it's calm, balanced offense, no panic. Philly out counter, had no counter once things got tough. No second look, no response. Closed for 15 minutes, decided shortly after.
They're bad. Philly's bad.
I really just want to say, if you want to break down this game, you want to hear the breakdown game, go listen to last week's pod. Too many Americans and not enough guys that are going into the inside.
Right?
Next.
Like Fennell's doing it.
Yeah.
Like Fennell's getting inside. Fennell looks good. Right? Joey Rez is getting his outside shots. Like did Phil Caputo play? I didn't hear his name.
Scratched.
Right? Like, yes. So he's obviously not, either something's wrong with him or he just needed a wake up call, right? Damoud he got his loose mesh bump, but it hasn't lasted as long as some of these other guys, right? Like he's kind of got on a cold spree. Deacon looked good when he went in, right? But if Sowers can't get, his sneaky two, Brennan O'Neill, like they're just shooting from the outside. They're shooting the same shots. I get it. These guys are great shooters. Better than me any day of the week, right? Problem is, these are great NLL goaltenders as well. And the net isn't 6 feet by 6 feet. And the goalie has on more than a chest protector, a helmet, gloves with a stick. Like it's harder to go on the outside. And when all you have is the outside, like me, for example, when, back in the early 90s when I was half decent and I couldn't score from the outside, I'd get inside and try and get the monkey off your back by getting in on the inside and getting a greasy goal or a hard working goal. They're not doing that. That's crazy talk, right? Like it's, again, like I was listening to another live show and they had a guy from Philly on. He's like, I don't know what kind of play call this is, blah, 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 blah. And I just started chuckling to myself and I got into the comments. I go, buddy, X's and O's or Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's, man. Like, I promise you, this sure as fuck ain't a TK problem. This is not a Tracy Kaluski problem. You can see him going fucking tomato red as a dirty bird here on the bench, yelling and screaming, telling people what to do. 9 times out of 10, you can hear it through the fucking TV. He's telling them to do the right thing. They are not doing it. Plain and simple. These guys are continually going up and down, up and down, up and down. And then Fennell gets the ball with 5 seconds to go in the shot clock, and hopefully he can make something happen, right? Blaze isn't banging in on the inside. Brennan O'Neill's running up and down the arch. Michael Sowers is running up and down the arch. Joey Rez is doing his Joey Rez thing, and he's getting in when he can, but he has nobody to work with. Like, it's getting bad out there, Jim. It's getting bad out there.
I totally agree. Let's escape San Diego before anyone asks for a third rematch and land in Halifax where the vibes go and the defense goes to work. Halifax spent the entire game flirting with control and never actually committing. This one felt closer than it was, which is kind of the most Halifax thing possible. The crowd got loud, the shots were there, and it just felt like momentum might flip. Georgia calmly shut the door and changed the subject. Nolan Byrne kept showing off his uninvited guest. Every Halifax push ended up the same way. Byrne scoring, everyone collective realizing Georgia was still in charge. And then there's Brett Dobson, who not only decided to stop balls, but also become a problem in transition. Dobson had 2 assists in the second quarter. Both came off reverse looks and kept Halifax on their toes, which unfortunately for Halifax is an error we all know that they struggle with. Every time Dobson moved the ball early, Halifax froze for the second half, and that was enough. While Halifax was trying to sort it out and who was covering who, Georgia's already gone the other way. Dobson, right back at saving everything, reached to a point where Halifax was just firing shots out of habit, hoping one would sneak through. On vibes alone. Georgia never panicked, never rushed. They waited Halifax out, trusted their goalie, let the mistakes piled up on the other side. Not flashy, not dramatic. Just Georgia, grown man lacrosse, walking out with 2 points.
Is Brett Dobson the MVP of the fucking league right now? I hate this guy so much.
He has to be.
I hate him.
It has to be.
I hate him.
It has to be the MVP. He has to be the goalie of the year. Just give him the fucking title. We're end of the day. Just give it to him. Have a nice day, Dobson. See you next year.
It's not even fun watching him play. It's just so boring, and he stands there and he just saves the ball and throws fucking perfect passes. And like I got more on Dobson coming up here, but it's just I haven't seen him play this good ever. Like, and I've watched him since his second year junior, I think. Third year junior, I think, is when I came back, what he was in. Like, he's so calm in the net. He doesn't get rattled. Like, you run him, he doesn't get rattled. You know, you give him a shitty.
Who would you rather right now? Dobson or Del Bianco?
Dobson. Fuck Del Bianco. No, honestly, like Brett, like I'm biased, right? Like Brett's from my hometown. You know what I mean? Like again, like it's you can't really.
You worked with Cooch though too.
I worked with what?
You worked with Delps.
No, Chooch, not Cooch. Chooch. It's Chooch. No, I know. I love them. I love them both. I fucking lived in Christian's house for Christ's sakes. Like they're both great goaltenders, and you can't go wrong, right? But again, like just to get a text message and a funny chirp from him, I'm gonna say Brett, right? But Halifax, like as you say in your little recap there, that's just continually getting better and better. By the way, great job by you, but. They're not flashy. They're not flashy. They're just showing up with, well, outside of Mr. Electricity, Nolan Byrne. They're just showing up and they're doing like a little workman-like mentality and they got their boots on and they're led by hardworking guys. Like Lyle's not out there doing the typical Lyle thing, and I don't mean that in a slight. Like the guy's one of the most naturally gifted lacrosse players I've ever seen in my life. And he's probably the second hardest working guy out there outside of Shane Jackson. Right? Like it's just their leaders are leading by example. Like one thing that again, like I'm rambling and I apologize, but one thing I love about this Georgia team is I forget what goal it was and Shane Jackson scored it and he gave a couple high fives, put his head down and ran right to the bench. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of team that Georgia is yeah, okay, cool. I scored. Let's go do it again. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. You guys scored. Like this hasn't happened much this year because again, Dobson's being an asshole and not letting anybody else have fun. But like when they do get scored on, like the odd time once every blue moon, it's okay, fuck, big deal. We got scored. Like other teams, like you see them, like like I like the goal sellies. Don't get me wrong, but like they're sometimes a little loud and eccentric. And you had the two guys in Buffalo and Malcolm doing the thingy, and you had other guys doing like this thing or whatever, right? Like I like it, but. Like this Georgia team's different right now, man. And led by Dobson, led by Jacko. Just going to work. Just going to work, right?
Is this one of the most like balanced rosters between youth and veteran presence? Between Brian Cole, Shane Jackson, Jordan McIntosh.
Always had nothing. Yeah. Nothing's different, right? Like there's those couple years to where they first came to Georgia. I think they were super, super young. But they've always had a real good mix, right? Like Eddie Como and Chai Baby, like they're smart lacrosse minds, right? Then you got Creppy on the back door now as well, right? You got Halsey up there as well. Like even their bench staff, like look at their bench staff. It's a perfect mix of exactly what you want. You got the two old bucks and Chai Baby and Eddie Como up there. Then you got Jordan Hall, who's a couple years older than me, and then you got Creppy, who's a couple years younger than me. Right, like it's
I think Jordan Hall's in San Diego now. To be honest with you,
who's the old guy in Georgia?
Andy Secor.
Secor. That's who it is. That's exactly who I was thinking about though. Secor is a year or two above me, and then Creppy's a year or two below me, right? So even the hierarchy of their coaching staff, I know Halsey's in San Diego. I don't know why I said Halsey, sorry. Seeks, good Brampton boy. You want to hear something funny? This is hilarious. Completely sidebar. He gave Corey Small the nickname the Kitten.
In Edmonton.
Yeah. Oh, you do know that?
I don't know why, but I know why it came from him. I don't remember why though.
Late night, they woke up. It was Andy Secord, Corey Small, Scott Tinning. And they woke up and Corey Small was sleeping on the... Look at him, so cute, like a little kitten.
My last question for you. Go ahead, Frick.
No, shoot. I was just going to keep rambling about the hierarchy of the coaching stuff, but it doesn't matter anymore. What's your last question for me?
My last question is Dobson top 3 of the best lacrosse player in both sports, in both versions of lacrosse, field and box? Top 3 or top 5?
Again, that's a loaded question to where he's the best at what he does. Yes. He's the number 1 best goalie in both games. Yes. He's the best at what he does. You can't, what's your hierarchy on ranking a player? Because you have to put Jeff Teat in that. You have to put Tom Schreiber in that. You have to put right now CJ Kirst in that. You have to put there's Dane
Jack
Smith
Hanna.
in that. Jack Hanna, Dyson Williams. There's so many good players at both of the disciplines that we play. So it's a loaded question.
We crossed the border from Halifax to Rochester, where the rule book is more of a suggestion. This one getting out of hand fast. Vancouver controlled the game from the jump. Pace, special teams, depth showed all the way. Once they found their groove in the second and third quarters, it turned into a one-way street. The moment that really tipped it, Rylan Hartley takes a 5-minute match penalty, and from there it was damage control. Vancouver cashed in, stretched the floor, never let Rochester breathe. Vancouver's offense was balanced. The Warriors kept piling on. Rochester chased. Sometimes it's not the score, it's the moment. And that was it.
Everybody in the National League better look out if this is the way that Vancouver's offense is going to play. Because they're
heating up, man.
Barely even got going, and they put up a 16 spot on one of the best teams in the National Lacrosse League, right? You can't give this team that many power play opportunities to start off the game, right? 50% on the power play at 5 for 10. How many of them were at the very, very start of the game? Okay. You have Jesse King going off for 5. Keegan Ball threatening Mark Steinhouse's record with 13 points. And the scariest part about all of this is for the second straight game, they just basically turned off in the fourth quarter and saved their legs, right? At one point, it was a 10-goal run for Vancouver. This team is built top to bottom like an absolute wagoon of a lacrosse team. You give Mouse time to scout. You give Sato time to scout. You have, in my opinion, at every level, he's the best coach in the game. And it just consistently proves it. He surrounds himself with the best people. I know the amount of work that Sato does to put into these scouts because for the second fucking week in a row, Connor Fields didn't score until the third quarter. Jeff Teat, wasn't the same Jeff Teat as last week. Right? We talk about it, or I talk about this all the time. Jimmys and Joes, not X's and O's. Well, every once in a while, when you have the Jimmys and the Joes, which Vancouver does, and you add in the X's and O's, which Sato and fucking Kurt Malowski do, it's going to be a problem. This team is going to be a problem. I meant to text you halfway through this game and tell you to drop a quick C note on whatever Vancouver was paying to fucking win the championship, because after that game or on the weekend, their odds were going to exponentially drop, and they did, right? They went from paying plus 800 to plus 450. This team is fucking building momentum and building speed at the right time. And halfway through the year, Kurt said it from the very start. From the very, very start, the offense was going to be the last thing that came. Well, look the fuck out, NLL, because it looks like the offense has showed up in Vancouver, and wait till they put 60 minutes together. And they haven't had to yet. That's the scariest part. They haven't had to yet. The defense is unreal. Big, mean, fast. Transition game, big, fast. Fucking run the lights off before. And then when they got their settled 5-on-5 on there, or their specialty teams on there, it's good night, Irene.
Yeah. I think Sask and Vancouver comes up here pretty soon, and I can't wait for that, man. I can't wait for it. That's going to be the game of the year at this point.
It'll be a banger. That one will be a banger. Get Greggy and Jenner on that call. Don't ruin that game. Don't ruin that game, please, NLL. Jenner and Greggy, Vancouver and Saskatchewan, don't ruin the game, please. Move on before you get me in trouble. Move on.
I believe it's a TSN game.
Thank God.
Let's leave Rochester in a rearview mirror before Fricky gets himself in trouble and head to Toronto, where discipline made a experience this time. Finally, a 60-minute game from Toronto, and honestly, the most balanced Rock performance we have seen all season. No disappearing quarters, and we'll turn it on later. Just steady pressure from start to finish. The big difference, the right side showed up. After getting a very warm welcome from Frick last week, they clearly took it personal. 9 goals from the right side alone. That's not an adjustment, that's a response. Toronto spread the offense, moved the ball, and made Ottawa pick their poison. When you shut down one option, there was usually someone else ready and loading up. It never felt like rush, it never felt forced, just confident. This wasn't Toronto surviving. This was Toronto dictating. When they Rock play like this, balanced, patient, and actually committing to a full 60, they're a problem. And Ottawa found out that
they got some soul searching to do in Ottawa. Like, it was just like a bland effort. You know, they no pace, no enthusiasm, no mojo, no grind, no jam, no Dan McRae-isms. It just seemed like it was an emotional game for everybody, and emotions played a key part, right? Like, again, just one of those for Ottawa, one of those games where you just kind of, you got to look at tape, you got to fix your mistakes. But if it's one of those games to where you can just ignore it, I think that's probably best, right? But if nobody else on Toronto listens to the podcast, the right side sure as fuck does. Like, my old Whippy Steelhawks buddy, Christopher Boucher, he was listening. He's like, "Oh, Fricky says I got to get going. Here we go. Quick 5-banger for the fella." Right? Like, it's, if Toronto wants to win with the absence of Rosie, that's what they have to do. Right? Mark's going to be Mark. What do you have? 9 points, 10 points, 11 points,
9
right?
points.
Hiltzy can have his, his quieter-ish games with
Sorry,
Mark
11.
with Mark doing that. Right? You know CJ's going to eat when Mark has 11. You know Hiltzy's going to, nibble when Mark has 11. But the right side's going to fucking eat when Mark has 11, because he's always looking. Sometimes he forgets he's not in Sask, and he doesn't have his buddy Robert over there, because he's always looking. Right? He's always looking for the righties, and it's been a thing of his. Back in the day, he was looking over there for Danny Littner. Back in the day, he was looking over there for Curtis Knight. Went over to Coquitlam. He found his good buddy Robert. He started looking for Robert. They went to Sask. They went to Edmonton. They were looking for each other. He's still looking for his buddy Robert on the right side.
From the Rock handling business to the Buffalo Bandits getting buried under a mammoth, this one got ugly. Colorado cooked Buffalo's defense. Bandits were late to checks all night, giving Colorado's shooters and space to be creative in a Jason Bishop-style offense. When you're a half step late, those creative merchants are going to hurt you. Offensively, Buffalo was one-dimensional. Too much downhill, Dane Smith, not enough movement. Off-ball was quiet, especially on the left-hand side. Too many passengers when they needed answers. And let's be clear, Dylan Ward wasn't the problem. He's elite one-on-one on outside looks. Buffalo never forced him to move laterally or hesitate. Non-consistent GLE pressure, no inside work, and just feeding to his strengths. Defensively, Colorado pushed high, took away Buffalo's sides, and dared them to create from up top. Buffalo flipped the floor or reversed the defense.
Is this slow start to Josh Burns' season a direct attribute to the loss of Chris Kluche? Because he does not look like the same player. Is he still hurt from the summer? Again, we talked about this earlier, and everybody has their opinion, and I'm not saying this is my opinion. I'm saying this is one opinion that I've heard, to where if he is 80%, he's not playing, right? So, like, is this him sitting back because his body doesn't feel right? Or is this him losing a guy who took a shit kicking to get him open, and working for somebody else isn't his strong suit? His strong suit is having somebody work for him, and him being able to create time and space in a one-on-one situation when somebody else has created the chaos. They have nobody working with him right now. And by working with him, I mean working for him.
I totally agree. He's on pace for 100 points right now.
And that's still good.
2 seasons, he was
still really good.
135, 134.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be his third highest goal-scoring season since 2018, so it's still right up there. But, like, I do agree with you, man. I think, not having Chase Fraser on the right side might have not much hurt as much as not having Chris Cloutier on the left-hand side of the floor for him.
No, because on the right-hand side, you still got a guy doing all the dirty work in Bucky. Kyle Buchanan is still performing at an extremely high level, right? So, and let's not forget Tahoka also on the right side, right? So like there's a couple other bodies to where there's guys working with and for Dane. They got nobody on the left side right now working for Josh Byrne.
Ian McKay.
But he's not like they're not working together.
Yeah, no.
Josh is getting the ball, he's going. Yeah, Josh is getting the ball, he's going one-on-one. Benny's been out for the last couple of weeks. Like, he got back this week. Right? But I don't think the style of play that Colorado plays, being young, fast, and physical, is the style that's helping Benny.
No, and I think that's why, like,
Benny's never been the fastest.
And I think that's why, like, going back to the right side, I think that's why we saw Triolo get cut, right? Like, got released. I don't think Triolo's game matches well with Dane Smith or Calgary Buchanan or Tahoka. I think he's in my opinion, I think he needs to be a guy that opens up space and a guy that will feed him the ball. And Dane Smith is one of those guys, if he doesn't have space, he's just going to swing it over to his buddy, Josh Byrne.
Yeah, but if you're a smart offensive player, you can set a half-ass pick for Dane Smith, and when he swings the ball, you can flash and be wide open for a pass from Josh. I think that was a misfire. One of the very, very few misfires that Chuggers made over the last couple of years was getting rid of Mike Triolo, because I think he's exactly what Dane Smith needs. Put him and Dane Smith on the right-hand side in a two-man game, and who the hell's going to stop that?
Two big bodies.
Right? Like, that's like, I don't understand the move, especially for what they gave up for him in a trade just in the offseason.
Third round pick.
I don't understand it. Like, it's right. Like, that might be the one misfire that Chugger has made. So that's the negative. Let's get out of the negative here, okay?
How about the Ranjan, though, too, since we're at that?
What about him?
He got released as well.
Yeah, he got released because they were bringing in players that needed the roster spots, and they're bringing back Snoo in a couple weeks. I never.
Now better than Ranjan, in your opinion?
Is who? Sorry,
Mike McNall.
But that's not who they brought into the lineup. It was Belter and Spanger, right?
Belter and Spanger, yeah.
Yeah,
and you're dropping Ranjan over Mike
McCannell.
But
it's not about them dropping them because of, maybe Ranjan didn't want to go on the practice roster. Maybe they had to pay more to get Ranjan in than the other fellow. Like, there's so many more situations on who's better. Like, who's better doesn't factor into situations like this. It's who's more accessible, who's more available, who costs less money. Who's closer? Maybe the other guy didn't want to or didn't care about gas money. Like, there's so many different factors to that who's better in this league.
And you think, what's your positive of this game other than
call it yes. Sorry,
what a wagon.
Your Ron John, your other guys being better than Ron John, to where that's why he got released. Really, that annoyed me. Colorado's they're the best team in the league right now, by far. They're the best team in the league right now. Yes, I think they are. Yes, I think the offense is more explosive. I think Sask is a get it into the gutter kind of game and just drag it out to where all of a sudden they're up by 6. I think Colorado's explosive. I think Colorado's exciting. I think it's Colorado. I think it's, no matter what this year, I think it's a Western team who wins the title.
Like, I see Sask, Vancouver, and Colorado. One of those three.
Those are all Western teams, right?
That's your final. Yeah, that's your final.
Well, that's not your final. That can't be your final. Because you just said 3 teams, meathead.
One out of those three, 2 teams will be in the final, and that's your final. Vancouver, Colorado, Sask. But Fricky, the point I'm going to make with Colorado and why I don't think that they're the best team in the league right now is, again, when talking about this what happened in this game. Sask is that team that can go to the inside and force Dylan Ward to stay back and farther his net. And when he moves back and towards his net, he's not really as good as when he can step on the top of the crease and just get fired shots all night outside from the outside.
So you just think the last 7 teams that they have played haven't wanted to go to the middle. You don't think it has anything to do with the defensive system that they play that force people out of the middle, and it's called an umbrella.
I do agree.
But you don't, because you just said
But
that.
they haven't.
You just said that
played.
one team is going to get to the middle over the last 7 that they played.
Frick, they haven't played a team that I believe is at the same level as Sask right now.
Nobody's at the same level as Colorado. Nobody is at the same level as Colorado and Sask right now.
That's why I think Sask is better than Colorado.
In their last 5 games, nobody's got to the middle. So it's just they don't want to, right? It's the system. It's the system. They've literally you have trouble getting to Colorado's middle since Pat got there. It's their umbrella defense system that they play. They just continually funnel guys over the top, funnel over the top, funnel over the top. Sask doesn't get to the middle better than anybody else. Which goal comes to your mind right now that Sask scored this weekend from the middle of the floor?
Zach Mance.
It wasn't from the middle of the floor. He was at the side of the net. Go on.
He's going right through the middle of the floor to get that
Which
ball.
one? Which one? On the slip pick?
On the slip pick, and then to grab Ryan Keenan's rebound.
The one that he scores at the side of the net? He's not in the middle of the floor when he scores the ball, is what I'm saying.
He's still going through the middle.
He's going in and out. There's a massive difference to what you think going to the middle is that all these other teams don't do that Sask does. Everybody plays a 2-man. Everybody plays an early 2-man game, and one guy slips to the backside and one guy goes to the short side. Everybody does it. Every single offense in the NLL starts the exact same way.
And how many games, because I looked into this, because I was thinking too, Colorado versus Sask. I did.
You haven't. You're wrong.
Sure shit, I did.
You have
how many times
Google
do you think
search something.
No.
Half-assed.
How many times have you think Colorado has beat Sask since 2016?
It doesn't matter what happened last year. Doesn't matter what happened. No, you're not saying anything. It doesn't matter what happened last year. It doesn't matter what happened last week. It matters what happens next. And until they play right now, present day, what happened in 2007 in front of 22 people in Saskatchewan does't matter. Doesn't. It's like saying momentum carries through in games. We're betting on that game, $100. I'll take Colorado. You heard it here first. 10:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Austin lost $100. Dear Diary, best day ever. Let's go to Vegas. Hurry up.
From Colorado chaos straight to Las Vegas, Gretzky night, where the vibes were heavy, meaning and mattered, and the game absolutely did not take a night off. This one felt like Vegas waited out Oshawa. Back and forth early, tied late, plenty momentum swings, but when the game tightened up, Vegas made fewer mistakes and won the margins. Face-offs tilted hard to the Las Vegas Desert Dogs, shots piled up, and eventually pressure cracked Oshawa late. Vegas feel like they didn't need to be flashy, but they were more composed when it mattered. Oshawa had looks, they had the chances, Vegas just had the answers. Bottom line, close game for most of the night. Vegas owned the fourth quarter. Oshawa faded when execution mattered the most. Sometimes it's not about who plays better, it's about who blinks first.
I think this has got to be Vegas's most complete game all year, right? And what a great time to do it. Sold out rink for the first time ever. Team's playing good. Unfortunately, Chase Fraser got hurt. I hear it's not terrible. I also hear it's not good, but it's not terrible. But the surrounding pieces picked up the slack, right? Donville continues to be productive. Patras continues to be productive. Who's that other big name guy that they got with the nice hair? He was on the podcast earlier. I forget his name.
Mitchie Jones?
Oh, Mitch Jones. Yeah, he's okay. He's playing half decent, I guess. He's playing unreal right now.
Only 9 points.
Yeah, he's
5 assists.
He's playing absolutely unreal right now. It's disgusting. I just don't like pumping his tires up anymore. They're gonna have to make a bigger door for the player's entrance so that his big melon can fit through. For Christ's sakes, he's playing so good right now. It's remarkable. Defense.
He didn't have he was getting snake bitten during the game though too. Like he didn't score his first goal until I think the third quarter, I believe, Frick.
But he does.
He got real hot and scored 4 straight for Vegas.
So what? He was.
Yeah. So Frick, I was looking into this, and they said it on the broadcast as well. Mitch Jones had 12 shots on net, and he didn't score until later in the half of the third quarter, and he scored 4 straight for Las Vegas. He kind of put the team on his back and carried them through to tie it up because it was keep going like 6-7, 7-8, 8-9, and then eventually Las Vegas just punched through.
6-7.
6-7.
Yeah, but like Mitch does everything else as well. Like he's not a guy that has to score to contribute, and he can do like it's the same thing as what we talked about with Brock Haley, just on a different level because it's Mitch Jones. When the ball's not dropping for Mitch, he's the guy who's going to be in the middle setting picks. He's the guy who's going to go and get a loose ball. He's the guy who's going to be first to the bench, right? Like it's just about doing the other things to help your team contribute until what you do regularly comes back. Because like a player like Brock Haley, like a player like Mitch Jones, Dane Smith, all these great offensive players, it's going to come eventually. It's just you got to do other things until it comes. On the Oshawa side, though, like look at the breakout by Dawson Thied, right?
3 goals, 4 assists.
That's the Dawson Thied that they need to be successful. They need the motherfucker Dawson Thied. They need the I don't care if I'm getting every single moving pick called on me Dawson Thied. They need to get the ball and go to the net with reckless abandon Dawson Thied, because then that opens up the outside for Alex Simmons. Then that opens up the outside for Dyson Williams. Then it opens up underneath for Ty Kurtz. Then it opens up over the top for Ethan Walker. Like it's crazy to think a guy who they just acquired can have so much control over an offense when that's exactly what needs to happen, right? Get the big dog going early and let everybody else settle in around them, because that's how they're going to be the most successful on offense. But again, like I said earlier, or like I'm going to say here coming up, this week is going to be a get right game for Oshawa going into Toronto. It has to be. Or else it's got to be a wholesale fire sale. And anybody who's worth anything right now, they need to accumulate first round picks. Like this team, the season's slipping away quickly. And if they put it together, both sides of the ball, right side and left side offensively, they're going to be dynamic. Until that happens, they're going to be stagnant, and that's what they are right now.
How much do you think if they keep going this way, how much does Rubish come available to teams? Talk about early trade deadline projections.
I just don't know if... Like, what's he going to command in return? Like, what are you giving up for 35-year-old Kyle Rubish?
Smartest guy in the world, though. 3rd rounder, 4th rounder.
I'm not discrediting his talent. By no means am I discrediting his talent. What I'm saying is a guy like Kyle Rubish, he came to Oshawa because he's at the twilight of his career and he's done with the travel, right? So you respect a guy like that and you don't just ship him to San Diego again because they're making a run, or Sask because they're making a run. All real logical places to where he could end up, right? And now again, in saying that, if you're Derek, are you messing with that apple cart right now? Right? Like I don't see a guy of that ilk at this point in his career getting moved just to go and move. I think playing at home in front of his kids and his wife and his family is more important than winning a 4th championship. Like, I get it, we all want to win, but at a certain point, life has to take over. I don't even know if you're him. I don't even think I'm entertaining that conversation.
I mean, you're right on point. Like, he did go to Oshawa to be close to home, to be with his kids. Fricky, I want to bring up this point. This is kind of interesting to me. I've been tracking this one for a little bit while. How many games do you think Oshawa has scored first?
2.
And the 2 games that they have scored, that they won. The one in Toronto, they didn't score first. And the one against Halifax, they didn't score first. Every other game that they have played this season. So between the 7 games that they have lost, 6 of them they have scored first, and 7 of them they have lost.
So the game of runs.
It's just
that doesn't mean anything.
I know, but it's just
but no, it does. Like that's such an irrelevant fact. This isn't hockey. Games aren't fucking 1-0. When there's 27 goals scored in a game, who gives a flying fuck who scores first? If they go down 5-0, then yeah, I get it. It's hard to come back from. You know how many shots it takes to get one singular goal? One. You know how long it takes to get a shot? Like 0.2 seconds. It's you and your irrelevant facts. Just fucking fire me up.
I like firing you up.
It's dumb.
Alrighty, Fricky, before we get you more fired up, let's bring in
Not getting me any
guy that's
fired up.
a guy that's pretty fired up and a guy that's pretty emotional. One other than Mr. Shooter himself, Josh Sanderson.
Before we get to Shooter's interview, I got to give a shout out to Brandon Sanderson, the guy who connected me with Shooter, his cousin. And yes, Brandon, you're more than good enough, okay? You're just not a coach in the National Lacrosse League. And we have a National Lacrosse League podcast. All right? So if you want to come in here and talk about something, then you got to get in the National League B. Okay? Also, just look up Brandon Sanderson and go and buy some of his loony gear. It's pretty legit. Free ad. You're welcome. All right, joining us today on the Loose Mesh podcast, we have one of the most respected guys in the game of lacrosse, one of the greatest players of his generation, and now making his mark as an NLL coach from the royal family of the Sandersons of Orangeville. Josh, how are you today, buddy?
Good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, Josh, I want to know, where did the nickname Shooter come from and who gave it to you?
Yeah, I got it from my dad at an early age. So, it's one of those things where, he just, I think, gave it to me from one of his buddies that he played with, and kind of stuck. And luckily, I was able to score a little bit to live up to it a little bit.
I would say you lived up to it, being seventh all time in points and what's it, almost 500 goals or something like that.
Yeah, no, I when you got a nickname Shooter, I guess it goes hand in hand. I scored a lot more in junior, but no, definitely just one of those nicknames that stuck, and it's Shooter that I get a lot. So don't get a lot of Joshes.
So playing 19 years in the league, and you sat, as Dawson's saying, you sit seventh all the time in points. You're basically like, I got to watch you growing up, being in that area and with the Rock and Albany and them. You're kind of like, in my opinion, one of the most creative players of your generation. Like looking back, like what's one of the most impressive things or one of the proudest things you are of your playing career?
Just really lucky to play with all the guys that I got to play with, and we always, whether it's a summer or winter, had good teams that could contend and have a chance for it. So, just looking back, really lucky to be on a lot of the teams that I was on, and a lot of success we had. If we didn't win it, we were, sometime in the finals, or either battle in Peterborough or Six Nations to get to the Mann Cup kind of thing, and then in pro, just, the Albany group was really special. And then to get a chance to play in Toronto and Calgary and Boston, just lucky for all the stops. So, and the players I got to play with. So that, just lucky to, have that type of career.
Shooter, you're not the biggest guy alive. You built an elite career in a league that doesn't offer favor the size that you are. What did that force develop made big players that never had to?
Well, I relied on my quickness and get my hands free a lot. So as you get older and lose that quickness, it affected me. But definitely, you got to have your feet moving, and you don't want to get caught in the trolleys against some of those big boys. So really, a big part of my game was making sure my legs were really ready to go every game, and making sure I could move around and get to the space I needed to, because if I was slower than I needed to be, it usually wasn't a good night.
So kind of speaking of that space shoot, you played in an era to where like you had to kind of earn your spot, like you had to earn your space on the floor. Like it wasn't kind of like, it was more physical, branded. When you're watching today's game, like what do you kind of notice that the players have it a little bit easier than when like guys like you and Colin back in the day, like it was just like you had to battle more to get inside. It feel like, to me, it seems like it's a little bit easier now.
Yeah, the rules are definitely different, obviously, with the 5-minute majors and stuff like that they didn't call quite as much, and maybe some heavier guys, but everybody's so athletic right now. Physical and, just, really good athletes and really strong defenders. Maybe coming up, we could pick on a guy a little bit more, I would say. But, no, it's a different game for sure, more physical, a little bit more slashing back, right? There's no off-ball slash now. And saying that, when you get to, the Mann Cup or some of these 2 or 3 series in the NLL, and get pretty physical still. So the game keeps evolving, and I think good players would be good in any generation, to be honest.
If you were dropped in today in the NL in your prime, what part of your offensive game would translate immediately?
I'd hope all of it that did when I played in my prime earlier. I really relied on getting good chemistry with my teammates, especially the off-ball guys, and obviously, on-ball, working that pick and roll. So, again, playing with guys like Colin and off-ball, Casey Barnes, Dan Teat, Aaron Wilson, just plenty that, I really try to get good chemistry with.
So kind of making a quick shift over to coaching here. Like, what was harder in your opinion? Learning how to coach or or learning how to stop thinking like a player?
For me, I was coaching a lot as I was playing, whether it was minor and that. So just, learning from my dad, my uncles, and just a lot of the good coaches I've had and been around. Luckily, I've been able to, coach a lot of minor in Orangeville and work my way up. And then Patrick gave me an opportunity to get on the bench in San Diego and just learning from him and Billy Greer and a lot of guys, especially that I played for. So, and with. So, it changes week to week and love doing it. I love the guys that I get a chance to coach. So, really lucky too.
What's something that a former coach has stuck with you that you bring into your coaching days now?
Well, my dad, a lot of things my dad did, I believe in, obviously. So, just kind of follow a little bit of his stuff and stuff I believe in. But, I'm coaching with Troy, but I had Troy a lot, John Level, Bob McMahon when I was younger, just a bunch of guys that you try to take all the good things that you believe in that they did and try to take it into your system.
How often are you on the bench just thinking to yourself, like, fuck, I would have shot that one?
Yeah, that can happen a few times for sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't like to pass up too many, but, with our team, we are a bit younger, but, we do have some guys that can really play. And when we, share the ball and like you just mentioned, take the shot that's there, we're a lot better than we're passing it up and deferring a little bit. So, you got to be aggressive. So that's one thing I didn't have to worry about when I was playing.
On the flip side of that, where do you draw the line between correcting mistakes and letting players struggle so they actually learn?
Well, it's easy in the NL now by just, talking to them and looking at the film and then have a conversation. If they see something different, this is how we see it. This is how we want to play it. But is there something there that we didn't see that, and you try to work through it and get to the, end result of how you want to play it and get the, player feeling comfortable.
How are you kind of working the balance between like being the emotional guy that you are and trying to stay even keel on the bench, right? We seen a couple weeks ago. Now I don't agree with it whatsoever, but we seen a couple weeks ago that you got tossed, right? And again, like I said my piece on it. I'm not trying to sear you by any means here, but how are you finding the balance between like picking and choosing when you want to be loud and when you want to get your point across to the points to where you need to stay like even keel and level headed, or is that something you kind of lean on Troy for as well?
No, just definitely try to stay level headed. In the game you're talking about, definitely knew what I was doing there. Just looking for some sort of spark at that point, and obviously not something I want to do very often, but in that situation, I thought we needed something. But finding that balance is the key, and definitely an emotional guy, but I think that was the first time I've been kicked out in this league. So. Okay,
so hold on, Doss, before you go. Oh, Doss, hold on before you go further. I'm glad you said that, and I want to touch on that because I had a rant that I thought it was ridiculous that you get thrown out. Right, like we're professional. You're a professional coach. These are professional referees. Big deal. You were going up and down them, but you knew exactly what you were doing. Like you were trying to get trying to make your point, not trying to get thrown out, because again, I don't want to get you in trouble, but you're trying to make a point, so you were going a little bit above and beyond, so maybe my rant wasn't as justified to where I was saying there'd be an emotional crybabies.
I don't know. I don't think I crossed the line. I think it was one of those things where, we were frustrated as a team, our players, and our staff. And at that point, just one of the calls that was made at the score that was there, to be honest, I'd had enough.
How much emotion did you bring over from the 2015 championship last time you played there as a player, and then you went back there this year as a coach? How much emotion was in the building for you that day?
Well, a different arena. It was a cool experience. They did a good job. It's just a great setup in Edmonton. Hopefully, that is a future spot in our league. In that game, I thought we started pretty well, and we were hitting some bars. And obviously, Dauber's been awesome this year, and then they were, hitting their spots, and we just kind of got behind the 8 ball. So it was one of those things where we started okay, and things just kind of went south on us. So but we knew we were going to have a few of those this year. It's about what's next, and we got a really big game in Ottawa this weekend, and that's really our focus right now is being really good on the road on Saturday.
Does this start more about system not fitting the group, or what part of the group is they're not executing in the system?
I think it's just more when we got to play a certain way, and when we do that, we're in game. We've lost either. We beat San Diego, lost to Toronto and Vancouver. I think playing a certain way, and even at the end of that first game against Saskatchewan. The last couple, I thought, we got to face adversity a little bit better when these teams get on their run. So that's, I got to do a better job of making sure that we, stop that run for one and worry about what's next and not worry about their little run that they're on. And that's part of our, growing up process. But, I think it's something that we can change right away.
So when you guys as a staff are sitting down watching film this week, what's the fix going into this week in Ottawa?
Well, we when we were in games and playing, with the top teams there, we were doing really well on the face-off and controlling the ball a lot more. I thought Saskatchewan had the ball way too much against us. So for us, it's offensive repeat possessions, boxing out and getting that loose ball and possessing the ball over 50%, which I think we were doing in those games. And then this past game, not valuing the ball, and Nassau was really good. They did a really good job after the first quarter. So just getting more ball possession, valuing it a little bit more, and it helps with their execution.
7 games into the season, does this team actually know who it is right now or how it wants to win games? Where are we at?
Yeah, no, we know exactly the formula. It's about doing it week in and week out, and it's, again, inconsistent right now, but we want to find that consistency moving into Ottawa, and then obviously back-to-back home games the weekend after. So another thing we need to do is get some better results at home.
Being the offensive guy that you were and the offensive mind that you are, what are you seeing in your top offensive guys right now? Is it a little bit of hesitation, or is it just are we lacking confidence, or have we just run into good defenders and good goaltenders so far?
I've been really happy with that group. The last 2 games, the second quarters have really got us in trouble, and we got to switch that right away. We start forcing things a little bit too much, and worry about the other team scoring on us. And if we play a certain way, we're going to give us a chance every weekend. So really happy with the group, but obviously the last 2 games, it just hasn't clicked the way we were earlier in the year and in camp. So it's very important we get back to that, because that's how we're going to be successful, which is everybody touching the ball, making sure we're setting picks, getting those repeat loose balls and getting those extra possessions, and that's how we've won our game and been in the other tight ones.
What did you expect the strength come into the season that clearly hasn't shown up so far?
I expected our defense to have be a bit better overall as far as number wise. Again, I thought we were a lot better than it showed the other night. We just made them play too much, and they just just had to play way too much. So I think that's an area that we can still get a little bit better in, and then obviously offensively get back to where we were the first 5 games.
You guys are relatively young roster wise. So, like, do you feel like it's beneficial for your younger guys to be learning on the fly like this, or do you wish that maybe you had a little bit more veteran presence to where you could ease them into lineups and not kind of like sink or swim mentality?
Yeah, maybe a bit of both, Ryan. It's great to be able to learn on the job for sure, but it's sometimes nice to take a step back and see. So maybe a bit of both, but we're really happy with. A lot of the guys, the work they're putting in, and we think it's got to get to another level yet. But some guys are, definitely benefiting from, learning on the job and getting in there right away compared to if you have a really heavy veteran group. Obviously, it's tougher to find that spot in right away. So we think it's going to be beneficial. At the same time, we want the minutes to be earned.
When things start slipping, like you said, in the second quarter, that hasn't been the greatest for you guys. Who's that guy on the bench that's calming the group down right now?
Well, we've been talking more instead of calming down is finding a play, making a big play, whether it's a big block that gets the guys in, big save, a transition goal, something to get us some juice and break up their run and get us going again. Because as you guys know, it's a game of runs, so we got to make sure theirs aren't as long as they've been, and a lot of that's looking to make an extra play or an extra effort.
Shoots, you kind of seem like you got a lot of patience with this group right now, right? But at what point does patience kind of turn a little bit more into urgency to where you don't want the season to start slipping away from you?
It started.
Good answer. Good answer.
It started.
Yeah, fair. I respect that. So we'll kind of switch over a little bit more into the offensive side of things here. For an offensive player's perspective, what's the hardest thing for your guys to kind of switch mid-season right now?
Well, some of it being younger and learning on the job, but some of our guys, behind Jesse, Dobes, and Curtis, 7 weren't getting the type of shots that we expect them to take this year. So, a little bit of transition for guys taking that bigger step that, maybe I underestimated the most coming into this year is Cookie and Tyler and Hayden, and they got the green light to take more shots. And where last year, Jesse and Dobes and Curtis were definitely getting a lot of shots as well as they should. So that's a big adjustment that we're starting to figure out here. Is you got a shot, take it, and if it doesn't go in, don't worry about it. Let's worry about the next one as long as they're quality.
And then just hold on, Doss, hold on a second. And then just kind of sticking with the offense here, Josh. At which point do we think that are guys playing the same way that you're asking them to, or are they kind of just going on their own and freelancing a little bit right now? Because on a certain side of the floor, to me, it doesn't look like there's been a hierarchy that's been established, right? And I'm sure, like, you listen to me ramble, right? So, like, I know what I'm talking about, but it kind of feels like there's confusion as to who's the main ball carrier on one side and who's going to be the air quotes number 2. So am I way off being an idiot, or am I kind of on base right now?
Well, I think you're a little off. We're trying to find the balance of our set plays and our IQ, where the guys can freelance and make plays, and we got to get a little bit better at both. So yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, where it looks a little, especially if you watch the second quarters of our last 2 games, just not in sync. So, but they're, if you watch the San Diego game and the game in Toronto and the game in Sask as it went on, you can see that, that they have some chemistry and they can make some plays. So, did we know there's going to be some ups and downs for sure? Do we know we got to get better in some areas, especially offensively? And after last game, we need to get our ball team back to where it was for sure. Definitely, struggling in a few areas that are obviously evident. So, but I love this group, and I love how they're working to get better, and we got to put together a full 60.
When this season churns for you guys, at what moment do you think, pointing back, this is the churning moment? This is what we needed.
Well, we're sticking. The big thing is when you're, nobody likes our record, so it's about sticking together and keep worrying about our process, and not so much worrying about the win. And of course, we want to win and get that result, but we really got to worry about how we're going to get it and what we got to do while we're out there. And if we can concentrate on that for all 4 quarters, knowing that they're going to have some runs, but just worry about making that next play. So. Definitely in a very important stretch here coming up, as you guys know, and it's our job to get some results.
All right, Josh, we really appreciate your time here. We'll get you out of here with a quick rapid fire segment. Rapid fire sponsored by Loading Lacrosse. The Tonka head, built like a truck, strong, wide, reliable. Basically everything my last F-150 wasn't. Use promo code TONKA95 for 15% off site-wide. Josh, if lacrosse had a WWE style entrance, what would be your entrance theme song?
Oh, geez. I'm not sure, mate. Something by I really like Morgan Wallen, so I'd pick out one of his good songs, and I guess that would be it.
What's one pregame ritual or superstition you've never skipped?
Well, superstition, it's a lot different at coaching and playing. So this playing would have been always candy cane and taping my stick. Coaching, it's always taping my water bottles on the bench, making sure they're mine, and putting a little message on it.
What's the worst chirp you've ever heard on the box or in the field?
Worst chirp?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I don't know. There's been some good ones. It's gone away. But I obviously, as a part of my game when I played, if I wasn't in the game, obviously, usually I'd figure some way to get me in. So the chirping is not nearly where it used to be, because it used to be really good.
Who's one teammate back in the day? And I'm looking for like the old Orangeville days here. One teammate who always used to keep you laughing.
Definitely my cousin Ryan, for sure. He was always in junior, definitely one of them, and into major. In pro, Teddy Dowling a little bit in my early years could always make me laugh. And then as it went on, Doyley was always pretty funny.
And then one word to describe what lacrosse means to you.
Everything, it's just, been a first part of my family, and it's so important to my family. So just love playing, love being a part of it, love coaching it, all that stuff. Always plan on giving back, and I think any guy that's in love with that sport, that whether it's hockey, lacrosse, football, it's just in your blood.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Shooter, for coming on. I appreciate you. I hope I hope you guys get the victory. I know how much emotion you guys are feeling it, just being around in the locker room after the game, and I wish I have a ton of friends on the team, and I'm not talking to them lately because I know they're in the dumpsters, and I hope all of you guys get back on the track, man. I think it's crazy to me from the preseason to now how much of a difference there is.
Yeah, no, we knew there's going to be some adversity, and we got to face it properly here. So we're really looking forward to the challenge and going into Ottawa, and obviously we got to play real well because they're good, and they're coming off a tough one against Toronto. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on, and it was good.
Fricky, I'm glad that Shooter came on to kind of give everyone insight of what's going on with Calgary. I took out of it, it's kind of the same thing I was telling you earlier in the pod, right? He's frustrated. He loves this team and he wants this team to get better. What did you take out of it?
Well, like anybody who's listening and anybody who knows Shooter knows that he is like the ultimate competitor, right? Like the guy, he's won everything. He's done everything. He's, what we say in the interview, 7th all-time scoring, right? So the losing part has to be frustrating for him, but in the same sense, like you could sense the frustration through the interview, but you could also sense, like, and we said it during the interview, you could sense the patience, right? And you knew, and by you, I mean Josh, knew that going into this season, they were young, they were a project, and, maybe people had unrealistic expectations on them through the season. That doesn't mean anything. Like, this is why at the start of the year, when people were saying, is Calgary a wagon because they won a couple preseason games, our ex-co-host and I were like, guys, like, pump the brakes. Like, this is preseason, right? This is why during the preseason, when uneducated media members were asking Josh Sanderson if they were the favorites to win the NLL Cup because they beat Buffalo in a preseason game, he said, guys, whoa, pump the brakes. Like, this is the preseason, right? But now in saying that, like, they're on the right course.
0.0.
0.0, right? But a great interview. Like, thanks a lot to Josh Anderson for taking the time and sitting down and chopping it up with a couple nobodies like you and I. And I again, like, I don't know if I should say this or not, but I find it funny on how you say he scares you. Like, he's just a little fella. How does he scare you? He's not.
I don't know, man. He's just intimidating. I just know, like, when I'm
you want to see scary, you go meet Lindsay, or you should have met Terry. That's fucking scary. Like, not Josh. Like, Josh has got a little angry to him, but Terry and Lindsay were, when they got mad, two of the scariest human beings going.
It hasn't been well in Calgary, like, when I've been there. Obviously, I was in Oshawa when they were in the overtime against Vancouver, but it just hasn't been a good game for.
What do you mean you were in Oshawa when they went to overtime with Vancouver?
That weekend, Dane Dobie night, I was in Oshawa with you. Yeah, and they went to overtime that game.
Sorry. I thought you meant you were in Oshawa when Oshawa went overtime with Vancouver.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the games that I've been there hasn't been the greatest, right? And I know how Shooter's kind of like, just you and I talking about Shooter and the Calgary Roughnecks off air a couple times, and understanding of just trying to grab a more of an understanding of all these coaches. So when I do interview them after the games and do talk to them, I don't look like an idiot. And I think, well, I never had said this on the podcast, but you and our old co-host has, like, helped me a lot with just understanding guys more, understanding the league more. I had a firm grasp, I think, of what was happening in the league, but, you guys just helped me out more, and I can't thank that enough. And this podcast.
Beauty. We're good. Let's go. What else? What else we got on top? What else do we got on top for this little podcast thing that we got going on, Doss?
What's hot and who's not, sponsored by the Goalie Factory, where they don't just train goalies and they build complete athletes. From camps, elite goalie one-on-one coaching in Langley to full online goalie coaching you can access from anywhere. Goalie Factory delivers technical excellence and athletic precision.
One thing we don't have in this ad read is Goalie Factory will teach you how to do cartwheels and barrel rolls.
That's Fricky's favorite.
Cartwheels and barrel rolls
to do that this year.
Hundo P. My U11 goalie is gonna have 20 minutes of cartwheels and barrel rolls at practice every practice.
Caleb Kahn does it.
I need what's his name from the Goalie Factory to send me videos about the barrel rolls and the cartwheels for the goalies.
Curtis and Riley Brown. I'll get them to send it over to you.
Curtis and Riley Brown, get in the DMs. I need a package for a U11 goalie full of cartwheels and barrel rolls, please.
Also, before, I know a lot of people, you guys been asking Frick and you guys been asking me in the DMs, but if you guys want Goalie Factory hats that we gave away out in Oshawa and all kind of merch and all that stuff, You can use, again, 15% off of the Goalie Factory. Just use promo code LooseMesh to grab that. And you can also use the promo code to use virtual online goalie coaching from the Goalie Factory. Fricky, I'm the goalie.
My boy Slick Rick bought 4 goalie hats there a couple weeks ago. That's why I was asking you what the code was. Boy Slick Rick.
Oh, really?
About 5.
Before you give us who's not, I'm gonna go with my hot first. And we talked about him earlier this week, the right hand side of Toronto, and one guy that stood out to me was Chris Boucher. And you asked me before we got on the pod, how many goals did he score on his feet? I believe it was 3 or 4, but
there's no way.
He had a good game against Ottawa. Who's not?
Bouch hasn't scored 3 goals on his feet in 3 years. He loves diving. He's the dive master.
Him and
Bouch had a great week, but I'm gonna just take an absolute shit kicking for this one. You already started it. I know I'm gonna take a shit kicking for it, but my Goalie Factory. Who's not? Please don't beat the shit out of me for saying this because you're jacked and you scare me. At Vince is my not hot this week. 11 goals on 31 shots in 27 minutes. I don't know if it was the altitude. I don't know what it was with Vino, but he was not Vino this weekend. It's okay though. Everybody has an off week. It's okay. The 43-year-old deserves it. I get it. But Doss made me do it. That's who's not hot this week.
I didn't make you do it.
No, but you made me do the not. And again, like I said to you off air, I know I'm going to take a shit kicking for this. But if I'm going to go at certain people that I consider family, I'm going to go at everybody. And that is what it is. I wouldn't be doing myself any justice if I didn't go after somebody just because I'm worried about taking a shit kicking. I'm good. Been called worse by better. It's all right. I'm fine. I'll still sleep like shit at night. It's okay.
Before I get beaten up, Fricky, let's go over to the Beast Athletics Beast of the Week.
There we go. Before we name our Beast Athletics Beast of the Week, we got to give a quick shout out to Beast Athletics, a program built on real athletes development, elite lacrosse training, high performance strength and conditioning, and a culture of accountability, hard work. No shortcuts, just athletes learning how to compete with pride. And that's exactly what our Beast of the Week this week represents. Beast Athletics, compete with pride. All right, it hurts, man. Like I hate continually pumping this guy's tires, but he does it. Like he fucks us when we don't bet on him. He carried Frick's picks on the weekend. Brett Dobson, fucking asshole. You are my Beast Athletics Beast of the Week. And the reason being, man, is 47 saves. 54 shots, 87.0 save percentage, and 7 goals against. Like he just continually does it. Brett Dobson, Beast Athletics, Beast of the Week.
I seen a tweet earlier in the week, but he's on pace to break all the records across the National Lacrosse League.
It was Greggy and Jenner that were talking about it. And the fucked up thing is I think Pat even said, like, even if he goes for like I think he's right now like a seven goals against per game or something like that, right?
6.91.
Even if it escalates for the rest of the year to like an 8 or a 9, he's still on pace to beat everything. Like, unless something absolutely ungodly or tragic happens, like he is head over heels, the MVP, goaltender of the year. Like, you might as well give him defensive player of the year too. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's having a ridiculous season. Oh, heartburn.
As we said before, just give him the MVP of the 2026 season.
Move on.
Give him the goalie of the year. And
move on. Move on. All right. We are at Loose Mesh Picks, proudly presented by CoolBet. CoolBet is the #1 sports book for all things box lacrosse. Whether you're looking to sprinkle a little on the money line, hit some exciting player props, or if you were smart, you'd be riding with Frick's picks right now. CoolBet is your one-stop shop for all things box lacrosse betting. Doss, you go first, because like I think everybody just wants to hear mine right now because I'm on fire. Like plus 900 hit last week, plus 500 hit the week before. It was like I took an easy one the week before that, and that one was only like plus 300. But surprise, surprise, that one hit too. If I was smart and I was betting my own picks for more money than I am, and I wasn't betting all the stupid ones that I'm betting and losing all my money that I'm winning, I'd be fucking loaded right now. Like,
You would be.
in all honesty, outside of your loose mesh picks that you've been doing, is there anybody hotter in the game of lacrosse right now in making picks than you and me? We're sitting number one in who you got. We're 1 and 2 in Preston's picks. There was an old David McMichael dick punching going on in the in the Lax Tilly thing that declined to just keep going because people got scared and they wouldn't send their bets in anymore because they were getting smashed by me and Dawson. That's fine. There's nobody hotter. There's nobody hotter than the loose mesh boys that pick in fucking games right now.
First in Preston's picks. You're second in Preston's picks, and we're second in who you got.
Oh, I thought you said. Sorry, I thought you said we were first in who you got.
Second in who you got.
No,
we missed a week earlier in the season, so we're out by like 8 points.
We missed a week and we're second.
Yeah.
I watch all this shit talking. We're both going 0-3.
Hopefully not, because we need to keep at it. But here we go. My picks this week. I'm gonna go Ottawa money line, Georgia money line, and Vancouver money line in the rematch against Rochester.
Isn't that something? Look at you go. I'll take a money line.
Yeah, because Ricky doesn't like when I tease the line.
But you don't do it properly. If you tease the line properly, I wouldn't have any problems with it. I wouldn't. Paid an extra $5 to tease her down to 1.5, or pay an extra $1, tease her down to 0.5, or pay an extra $5 and bang her up 2. Like I'm good with that. But when you just call her good buddy Patrick Gregoire and you just say, "Hey Pat, can you move this for me?" That's you know what I mean? Anyways. The winning.
Okay, do you know what you say about this? Hold on. The other day, I don't remember what podcast they had, but they moved all the lines to 2.5.
Yeah, well, they suck.
Plus 2.5.
They cheat. Did they pay extra for it? They had to have. Like if they didn't pay extra for it, then it's cheating.
You lose whatever the odds are, but that's about it.
Well, yeah, but you're supposed to tease it up by paying extra. That's what a tease is. Anyways, So we got Roch coming to Vancouver, right? Vancouver minus 1.5. Vancouver's starting to roll. Emotions are running high. Hartley's not going to be in the net. We're taking Vancouver minus 1.5. Sasky going to San Diego, right? Sasky's almost untouchable right now. Balanced offense, big, mean, fast on defense. Frank's playing the best lacrosse since last year, I guess. You know that little saying in Zoolander? What's his name? So hot right now. So hot right now. That's Sasky. Sasky, so hot right now. We're going to go Sasky minus 1.5. Oshawa taking the drive down the 401 to Hamilton. Like it's got to start to change for Oshawa. There's too much offensive firepower there. Dawson Thied got going last week. Dice got going because Dawson Thied got going, right? The right side, if they click, they've been going all year. So if they click at the same time, right? Every team is built for different teams. Does that make sense? Every team has a good matchup against a different team. My opinion, that good matchup for Oshawa is Toronto. This is a get right game for Oshawa. They know in that room that they have to go at minimum 7-2 to make playoffs. 9-9. They have to. They have to go 7-2 at minimum to make the playoffs. And I don't even think that's going to do it. Okay? Get right game for Oshawa. We're not going to get crazy though, Doss. We're just going to take Oshawa on the money line. Okay? So we're going to go Van minus 1.5. That's plus 100. We're going to go Sasky minus 1.5. That's plus 100. We're going Oshawa money line. That's plus 112. So mathematically speaking, Frick's pick this week is paying 312. 100 gets you 300, baby. 100 gets you 300.
So it's live on CoolBet right now. Frick's picks, as he said, Firewolves to win, Rush minus 1.5, Warriors minus 1.5, plus 855.
That's yours, plus 855?
Yours. That's yours.
Mine's 855?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 312 because that's what they all are combined. But I guess, yeah,
they boosted it.
They boosted.
Nice little boost.
Eight something again. Man.
855.
I know there's a little rat out there that I've made some money towards this summer or this winter. Sorry, little rat boy texting me every week. They're just throwing up lock signs. I know.
And then you can go over and get mine. Black Bears, Swarm, Warriors, all to win at plus 450.
Half. I get half. That's okay, I guess. Not a big deal.
Hey, Fricky, I hope you enjoy week 11. I can't believe it's week 11, man. Like, where has this season gone by?
Before we wrap up this weekend, I'm going to take us on a little bit of a sad note here, okay? We're recording.
We're
recording on February 2nd, right? February 1st, Tucker Williams' 20th birthday, right? Everybody knows how much I love the Williams family and how much they mean to me and all that. You know, we can sit here and we can ramble about Sean and Tamara and Dyson and Delana, Mama Chris, the whole family for as long as we can, Nudie, Judy, you know, but that's it. It's a tough one. And we want, you know, the Loose Mesh family, we want to express our happy birthdays to Tucker. It would have been his 20th birthday. You know, it would have been an absolute time over being had down in Vegas to where Willie and the family were watching Dice play. But, you know, Tuck, we wish you were here. We love you. We know you're looking down on us, and we just wanted to say from the Loose Mesh family and the lacrosse family in general, man, happy birthday, brother. We love you. We miss you. Blah, blah, blah. All that good shit.
Man, shit hits home every single time, man.
Yep. Yeah. But you know what though? Like, I don't know, man. Shit happens and it sucks, but like those people there are the epitome of the way that you're supposed to deal with something like this, right? Like, I know a lot of the listeners here know that I lost my dad at a young age, and I sure as fuck didn't handle that properly, right? And you know, my life was a bit of a disaster for a lot of years. But those people there, like they had probably the hardest loss that anybody could ever imagine, and just kept on keeping on. Right. And yeah, I'm sure it's shitty and they've had their struggles, but they've done so many good things with something that happened that was so shitty. Right. There's the Tucker Out Lymphoma games. There's ball hockey tournaments. There's park benches. There's the legacy that for an 8-year-old child is absolutely remarkable. You know, so again, we love you. We're thinking of you. Happy birthday, Tucker. And thank you for listening to the Loose Mesh podcast. What a way to end it. Sorry, boys. What a way to end it. Fucking idiot.
Alrighty, Fricky. I hope you enjoy week 11. Like I said before, I can't believe it's already week 11. After this week, we only have 10 more weeks of lacrosse left. Trade deadline is going to be right around the corner. Before we know it, you and I will be working the phones, and, you know, I think there's potentially something in the works for trade deadline day, and we're working all that up, and I'm looking forward towards that, but we'll keep that one under wraps. Hopefully it happens and it doesn't fall through like some of our other plans. But Fricky, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate you, and have a good one, kid.
All right, let's go. Week 11. Love you.